So the Africa Women Engineers Forum, I do extend my deepest gratitude to the organizers for creating this pivotal platform for dialogue, empowerment, and inspiration across the African continent. And we really want to thank you for connecting us. This afternoon alone, I've met a number of friends that I last met 20 years ago. I thank you. I would like to start with a story to just set the scenario for the discussion this afternoon. A young engineer right out of university landed her very first job interview, a female engineer, for the position of production engineer at a leading beverage company in one of the countries. She passed all her preliminary interviews and made it to the final stage for an oral interview. To her chagrin, after she had passed most of the questions during the oral interview, it seemed so, the chairman of the panel raised a concern, wondering whether she would manage the production engineer role since it was masculine-oriented and involved long working hours. Of course, although taken aback, the young engineer defended her position. She indicated she had gone through rigorous training at university, having done fitting, machining, carpentry, and welding. You all recall that. And she also defended her position further by indicating the rigorous practical training she had undertaken related to the role that she was interviewing for. She seemed and hoped she had convinced the chairman of this panel, but the chairman was not convinced. She never got the role. This remains the predicament of many female engineers, and that engineer happens to have been myself 20 years ago. So the theme of this year, Inclusive Engineering, Women Leading Innovation for Africa's Sustainable Future, resonates with many of us in this room. Without a doubt, women are at the heart of Africa's sustainable future. And today's discussion is not just a call to action, but it's a pivotal call to transformation for our continent. And if you look around, and I'm glad earlier on we had a chat with 3 members, this room is filled with engineers, students, leaders, and visionaries. Many of you women are breaking barriers, and most likely in a field that hasn't always welcomed you, but you have hung in there and remained resilient. And therefore, now that Africa continues to face significant challenges of climate change, urbanization, limited energy access, escalating youth unemployment. In Uganda, we are reporting about 70% of our population that is youthful, and a big portion of this is unemployed. So we have a burden that we must address. So despite the myriad of challenges, the continent also presents significant opportunities. And by 2030, our population as Africa will reach 1.7 billion people with a growing demand for sustainable solutions. So women engineers with resilience and ethical leadership are uniquely positioned to deliver these solutions. That is you and I. Inclusive engineering, therefore, means beyond just including the women, means designing solutions that work for everyone, rural farmers, urban youth, and future generations. And women are proving that they are not just part of this work, they are leading it with empathy. Please never feel undermined because you're empathetic as women. It is this empathy that drives your leadership values. And we as the government, and therefore the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, we are deeply committed, that is in Uganda, to ensure gender inclusion as part of our strategy. We are scaling up opportunities for women to enter technical fields, but also integrating gender-responsive approaches across our different projects. Today, I want to leave us with 3 key ideas that are meant to catalyze women as solution givers to the challenges that we face. Number 1, we must ensure that diverse perspectives are incorporated in our drive for innovation. Women bring unique sights to engineering shaped by our lived examples. And of course, today, as we grapple with all the different challenges in Africa, it is important that as we innovate, we do this with integrity, but also focusing on diversity in experience, but also in perspective. That's why inclusion is not optional, it is foundational. So we are all encouraged. Each time you're designing a solution or implementing a solution, understand the unique challenges and opportunities of our continent. As we work out our homegrown solutions, we should be asking ourselves, how can I bring more voices, especially women's, into my next project? That's where true innovation begins. Think about the end user. Who is that end user, the last mile, and how is this innovation going to make their lives better? Number 2, and that's why we talk about access, empowerment through mentorship, and I'm glad Dr. Buthelezi, Engineer Buthelezi, spoke about it. To lead, we need opportunities. Too many women in Africa face barriers, lack of funding being one of our biggest challenges. We operate in a patriarchal society where women don't have the best start. Many of us come from families where we don't inherit any property. So as women, we must network to ensure that we are able to mobilize funding to support our entrepreneurial skills. So through mentorship, we are able to ensure that we are supporting one another, not just to train or network, but to mobilize financing that will go to support our different engineering endeavors. Programs like the Africa Women Engineers Forum are indeed equipping women with skills and access to impactful platforms. Number 3, we must keep sustainability in our minds as a mindset. Inclusive engineering is not just about what we build, it's about how we build it. Women are leading the way in sustainable solutions. Think of sustainability as a mindset, meaning that every bridge, every road, every energy solution, every IT or ICT application, every system you design should leave the world better than you found it. Engineering is more than a technical problem solving, it is the art of designing a better future. So therefore, what is that one sustainable solution you can champion in your work? How are you changing lives sustainably through the work that you do? Without a doubt, we, the women gathered here, are a part of Africa's bright future. And without a doubt, we are part of the leaders that will deliver a transformative Africa. We are the architects of sustainable cities, the creators of climate-resilient technologies, the leaders of a more inclusive world. And we must take up the responsibility that comes with this. We should not shy away from taking on leadership positions. Many of us tend to remain in the cage of, I am a technical person. No, for engineering to thrive, we must get on the decision-making table. We must be in the boardrooms, we must inform policy, we must inform decision-making. So hone your leadership skills, and I'm glad that this forum gives us that opportunity to hone our leadership skills so that we can lead better, to be competent, so that when we are on the table, it isn't a favor, but we are there because we bring competence, but we bring great skills that lead to transformation. So with integrity, inclusivity, competence, resilience, innovation, and empathy. We look forward to we, women, building Africa. So mentor a young engineer. Let us get to work to transform our continent. I thank you very much.